Hey guys, Aaron Cybertron Zhang here, and today I'm back with another episode of Road to Ranked, where I climb the online Series 9 ladder and provide live commentary as I go. In the last episode, we used a really fun team, built by 2017 World Champion Ryota Otsubo, so we'll be playing a couple more matches with it today. First game of the day, they've got their own Coco, which is pretty scary. Landers for Intimidate, which isn't great for Coco here on our end. I think one thing that I realized is you have to be pretty careful in leading Hawlucha Coco, because Hawlucha can get one-shot by a lot of things, and it also has to worry about fake out from a bunch of things as well, right? So have to be a little bit careful about it. I feel like Grim Steela would be a good lead for my opponent, but that's where Hawlucha plus Coco is actually really solid. I feel like I keep getting baited into thinking Bronzong plus regular Regirock's good in the late game, but they actually don't do that much damage unless you get the policy off. Regirock is... Bronzong is really interesting here because it counters Porygon pretty hard just with Iron Defense and Body Press, so I'll probably want to bring that. Regirock does have Ice Punch. It has Drain Punch if it's Darker Shifu as well. But how can I not bring Mamoswine into a matchup with Coco and Landorus, right? Goodra's not even that bad here either. I kind of want to go Bronzong and Mamoswine here. I don't feel that great about Regirock in this game because I don't plan on Dynamaxing it. And part of the issue if you go Coco Hawlucha and then Bronzong is that sometimes like if Hawlucha goes down immediately, you're forced to bring out the Bronzong. Bronzong and Coco don't exactly have great synergy next to each other. So yeah. Anyway, thanks so much as always for watching. If you enjoyed, please share your support by leaving a like, and thanks once again to Ryota for the team. Question of the day with Series 9 not ending anytime soon, but I'm curious what you would all kind of want Series 10 to be. So they do go with Grim Steela, which is kind of the lead I was expecting, which makes turn 1 really interesting because like it's pretty easy for me to go like coaching Max Steel Spike into the Grimmsnarl. Because like Celesteela switching out into Landorus feels pretty likely here, right? So I'm kind of down to go coaching Steel Spike turn 1. One thing that is a pretty big deal with this team is kind of the element of surprise. Like, does my opponent expect physical Coco? Have they seen this combination before? Because if so, you can, play more willingly with your Landers. They could also just max Celesteela here. I don't know, like expecting to light screen, but that's pretty dangerous. I feel like Celesteela here likely is going to protect or switch out. Could be Assault Vest, though. One thing I'm nervous about is Fake Tears Grimmsnarl and then just like a max move into Coco. But yeah, there's the switch, which is good. Into Landorus. Yep, good. Okay, so that's solid for us, regardless of what Grimm does turn 1. I guess if Grimm goes for like Trick here, that'd be pretty scary. It could also Reflect, and Reflect actually would probably allow it to survive. So let's see if it reflects or light screens. Either way, this is decent, right? We force Celesteela out. Hawlucha doesn't take any damage turn 1. We can continue coaching. And the coaching just, stacks up really, really quickly, which is nice. And for Landers, we have Mamoswine in the back. That's exactly why I wanted to bring it. So I'm feeling okay about our Pokemon choice so far. I don't think Regirock would have been super good until the 3 my opponent brought. But it is Trick. Yeah, man, that's really bad. Because Landers can just max on us now. The only counterplay I had to that was Protect Coco and Taunt Grimmsnarl turn 1, but I don't think that's exactly a super good play. That's a bummer, though. Okay, nicely done, nicely done. Well, obviously you can max Quake now, but I am at +2 defense. So Hawlucha does have Ally Switch as well, so we could go for that. Alternatively, I can just go for another coaching onto Coco. I mean, Ally Switch is actually really valuable right now because they're either going to Airstream into Hawlucha or Quake into Tapu Koko, I think. So I'm kind of down for it in this position and just go for another Steel Spike onto Grimm. I mean, Grimm, I guess... Ooh, I actually like Lightning more into Grimmsnarl because I could see it switching out. And since their Landers is out, nothing else on their team can take a Lightning. But that's okay. What's interesting here is if they max Landers, we've gotten them to max the... and we have the Mamoswine, right? Okay, yeah, so this isn't too bad for us. I mean, Ally Switch is like particularly good in this position where, one, I mean, no one expects it on Hawlucha. It's like it can be a really frustrating move to go up against, right? But if this team has it, like this is literally like the best time to go for it in my opinion, because you're either going to Airstream often into Hawlucha or Quake into Coco, and the ally switch just, you know, completely messes it up for my opponent. Okay, so Hawlucha's going to get that off. Switch positions. Yep, they went for Airstream. Yeah, exactly. So Coco takes no damage there, and like more importantly, now it's like it's committed a turn of their max, right? We have Bronzong is actually not a terrible answer into Celesteal in the late game if they don't have, and they're just gonna spare break as well. That's fine. Yeah, we don't take much there at all, especially with all the defense boosts. I also could have just damaged the. Grimhang's on 1 HP with the life orb. One big question is what items the Celesteela has. I guess it's either going to be Leech Seed or Body Press. Not Body Press, sorry. Leech Seed or Flamethrower, maybe both. I guess neither really bode super well for us. But yeah. Okay. That was obviously a good turn for us. Hawlucha just adds a lot of mind games now. You're not going to bring out Celesteela, so you're pretty much forced to go out to... Oh, they do. That's interesting. Okay. That is very interesting. Well, we're at +3 defense with this. I mean, it's like fairly obvious Celesteela protects here, but I'm still down to go... Well, we don't necessarily need coaching, right? We have Body Press. Coaching max... Body Press, like, in case it's sub-Celesteela? Like, I don't think that's super likely. I could also Airstream here, because this thing's gotten a speed boost. We have Bronzong and Mamoswine in the back. I mean, surely Celesteela protects this turn, right? Okay, I'm actually down to Airstream Landorus and coaching into Tapu Koko. Yep, there's the protect. Okay, very good. Yeah, I mean, I don't, like, Max Quaking here is really risky, because Hawlucha revealed the ally switch, so we don't need to use it anymore. They're just going to go for an Airstream into the Hawlucha slot, and yeah, you can see how well these defense boosts are helping us right now. So the speed boost here just allows us to get even faster with Hawlucha. Now we have, you know, a really strong body press into Celesteela next turn. That alone is pretty valuable. Airstream is actually very good damage onto Landorus. So the nice thing is that Landorus is going to be in Ice Shard KO range after the next turn, right? So that's pretty valuable for us. The easiest play to make this next turn is just to protect the Tapu Koko and body press into the Celesteela slot, I think. We're at +4 defense, +1 attack. They don't have a body press switch in other than Tapu Koko, and this would be a +3 defense body press. Are they gonna max Quake here? I think it's better to still protect because we just get the free switch into Mamoswine anyway, so I'm down to protect and body press in this position. Especially because my opponent should recognize that Koko is the best way to deal. Like, they would probably, I don't know, Quaking is risky because you don't want to fall into ally switch. But I don't mind playing it safe here. Oh my gosh, that was so much damage. Wow. Yeah, they did go for Airstream, but that's fine. Like, yes, I could have Thunder Punch there, but now my opponent's max is over. I have a +4 defense Tapu Koko. And I have a Mamoswine as well, right? So Hawlucha put in incredible work here for us. And they just Flash Cannon. Perfect. Okay. So we know it's not AV Celesteela. No lefties either. Wow, I'm actually very curious on the item on that then. Huh. We're bringing in the Mamo here, but I honestly, instead of Ice Sharding Landorus, which is entirely too obvious, plus we should survive an Earthquake on Koko anyway. Well, we have Focus Sash, so maybe I don't need to be so scared of Landorus. They don't have a switching into Ice either. Actually, their team has no Ice Resists, I just realized. Huh. We're at +4 defense, so like we can definitely take an Earthquake, but I'm nervous about their last one being like Urshifu, so I'm actually down to just play like Thunder Punch and Ice Shard here. Even if Landorus switches out, that's fine. Celesteela, I don't think KO's Koko. Although I think the Landorus switch out here is super duper obvious, so what I wanted to do was Brave Bird Landorus and Ice Skull Crash into Celesteela, but what I don't want them to do is protect Celesteela, get a free switch in. You know what I actually think the best play was here? It was doubling up onto Landorus with Ice Shard and Thunder Punch. Okay, Urshifu is their last one. Yeah, if I made the play I wanted to, I think we would have... They're gonna flash cannon into Mamo, presumably. Because the problem is that's in Sucker Punch KO range now, isn't it? Wow, it was Life Orb Steela. Yeah, that play was too obvious on my end. I don't like that. I don't like that. But we have Brave Bird, right? So we can Brave Bird to knock out Urshifu, and then Bronzong should win against Landorus in the 1v1. And I think the Urshifu is more or less forced to Sucker Punch here, because Ice Shard is otherwise going to knock out the Landorus. So I think if you're my opponent, you're going for a Rock Slide flinch right now. I could switch out Mamo, or Protect if I'm expecting Sucker Punch here. I should have been able to just win the game last turn. I misplayed a bit. I think it's just Brave Bird and Ice Shard here. My only fear is they Sucker Punch Rock Slide and they flinch. Flinch might win them the game. So, what if I try to play around the flinch? What I could do is Brave Bird, Urshifu, and just Protect. They would have to Wicked Blow. I mean, Sucker Punch is just so obvious. 27% chance to lose off flinch. 30% chance flinch, 90% chance to connect. Yeah, I'm gonna Brave Bird and Protect. Ah, they did detect though. Wow, well done. Well done, okay. Are they earthquaking? Yeah, Well, how much does it do to Tapu Koko at +4 defense is the question. Okay, it's not a 2-hit KO. That's good, that's good. I think we're fine then. Because Brave Bird's going to KO the Urshifu, and I'm always going to win. I'm always going to win with Bronzong in the back. I think I'm just going to Brave Bird and Ice Shard. That was a really good play, though. Really, really well done. So now it's the same scenario, right? Just an extra turn. Like, I was worried about them going Sucker Punch Rock Slide, and I think that's their win condition right now. So they had to call that turn correctly, and that's a pretty risky play to make, right? So kudos to them for finding it. Yep, so there's the Sucker Punch. So they called the last 2 turns correctly, but if Rock Slide doesn't flinch, Brave Bird KOs Urshifu, Bronzong wins against Landorus. Ooh, we actually get the dodge. Nice. So 73% of the time, we win this game. Assuming Brave Bird KOs, yeah. Obviously a really lucky dodge for us there, but they needed to hit and get the flinch. That being said, like, yeah, they play that really, really nicely. Like, way to call my Protect. So I mean, I could have just instantly won by Ice Sharding and Brave Birding. It just would have been the same position. Like, they made the read that I was going to Protect there, and that was really smart on their end. So, yeah. Now we can just Protect an Iron Defense up. Landorus can't really beat Bronzong. Yeah. That was a huge dodge, obviously. It wasn't going to KO, but they also had a crit chance, actually. So I should have factored that into the calculation, because I was saying, like, 27% chance, but that's just from Rock Slide hitting and flinching. You also have the slight adjustment for critical hit, which is 1 in 24. So, yeah, I mean, call it around 30%. So the odds of us winning that were still in our favor, but, I mean, that was a really close game, and I think my opponent made some really, really good plays as well. In the end, it was nice that we got them to max the Landorus, and like, being able to do so much damage in a Grim was nice. The defense boosts on the Tapu Koko were absolutely essential as well, so all of those added up. And obviously, Hawlucha having Ally Switch made it tougher for my opponent to feel confident max quaking in any position, right? So that was highly beneficial for us as well. So yeah, I mean, I think Ally Switch is probably one of those moves that is really, really, like, it can always be really tricky to go up against, right? Because you never know if your opponent's going to go for it, especially on something like Hawlucha. Like, that's where the element of surprise really comes in handy. But I think Hawlucha and Koko are really, like, the perfect duo to utilize it here. Okay, this is just the Marowak team we used, right? So we know the sets. Lam SD Lando, AV Kartana, Eerie Impulse P2, Marowak Calm Mind, and then Dual Screens Grim. Marowak's a big issue, right? Because Koko can't go crazy here. This is such a bulky matchup. I don't like it. I think Regirock is probably what we play towards, like Regirock under Trick Room. But Grim's going to be a problem, right? Because you just set up screens with no issue. Man, Goodra is actually really interesting here. He's got T-Bolt for Feeny, Flamethrower for Kartana. Like, I think Bronzong, Regirock, Mammal need to come out here. Bronzong, Hawlucha, Gudra. Yeah, I don't know what the best lead here is. I think I'm gonna go Hawlucha, Mamo, Bronzong, Regirock. I just like never feel safe leading Bronzong with this team, just because like it's pretty hard to guarantee Trick Room up with that. So I don't know. I mean, we just use this team, right? The Marowak team, and it is really one of the most consistent teams I've used in Series 7 or Series 9. Like, there's a reason why I was able to get to #1 on the ladder by the original team creator. It's just really consistent, so it's not going to be easy. I think the Grim had Fake Out too, right? Which means you could Fake Out pretty easily, and I do have Taunt. I don't mind them Trick Rooming too much. Honestly, I really want to taunt the Grimmsnarl if I can. Porygon getting a special attack boost is scary for sure. I'm down to taunt Grim and EQ. Regirock would have been really nice as a lead here, actually. I mean, stalling out screens is going to be nearly impossible. I couldn't go Hawlucha. Like, I think Hawlucha Coco is just not good here. Coco mainly because there's so many electric switch-ins with them. All you need to do is bring in Marowak. I can't even do that much damage to Marowak. So, like, I think we had to not lead Coco. But there was a pretty good argument for Regirock now that I look at it. Like, what if I just led Hawlucha Regirock, actually? Huh. Okay, they just reflect. Well, this taunt's not really getting me anywhere. I should have taunted Porygon then to deny Trick Room, I guess. I mean, Trick Room going up actually isn't bad, though, because we have Regirock. So it's actually, yeah, not the end of the world. This next turn, I expect, what? Spirit Break, Ice Beam into... Oh, we crit Porygon. RNG has definitely been on our side thus far. Okay, and they expect Taunt, so they try attack. You know what? That is not too bad. I'll take that. Wow, that was a crazy amount of damage. Okay, Good coaching Earthquake. The thing is, if I give up Mamoswine now, it feels kind of bad. Grimmsnarl is taunted, so it's probably going to Spirit Break. You could Ice Beam Spirit Break into Hawlucha. Man, I mean, if I could just knock out Porygon quickly, that actually would be really nice. And I've revealed Taunt already. So here, I'm kind of down to just body press the Porygon and go for another Earthquake. You can't knock out both Pokemon right now unless Ice Beam gets like a super... Oh, that was modest Porygon. Maybe you do pick up a double KO here, actually. Oh, I didn't think about that. I forgot that the Porygon was super offensive. Not super offensive, but rather offensive. That could be a problem. Okay, they go for Tri-Attack, though, meaning we'll survive Spirit Break for sure on Hawlucha. Okay, that's good. You know what? This is not a bad, terrible position to be in, honestly. Because we'll survive Spirit Break. Definitely a lucky break with that crit to start things off. Ooh, that's still a 2 KO. Well, we don't have the defense boost, that's why, yeah. But now I can go into my good old friend Bronzong. And with Bronzong out, it's just like... Weakness policy strats in general, like, are a lot weaker when your opponent has screens up, right? I feel like Bronzong, a Porygon switching out here feels so likely. Do I want to read into it switching out? There's no way you stay in here, right? Like, Feeny, Marowak are both such free switch-ins. So what if I just make the read, they switch out, go out into Regirock, and then just straight up Trick Room? If they don't switch out, this is really bad for us. I just, like, don't think they would just give up Porygon right now. Especially when you have super free switching. So if they go out into Marowak or Feeny, that's great, right? Because then I get Regirock out and I can just Bulldoze Rockfall into it the next turn, whatever's coming in. But this is a pretty big gamble. I just, like, it's easy to, like, fall into the trap of wanting to KO Porygon right now. So I'm really, really, really hoping it switches out. If not, this is actually a disastrous turn. But I think they are going to. Yeah, okay, good. Oh, that was scary. Yep, into Marowak. Okay, perfect. Because if I stay in with Hawlucha, I'm in such bad shape going into the next turn. But now I actually have my offensive, you know, pressure Pokemon out going into the remainder of this. Okay, good. We're slowly stalling out their Trick Room as well, which is nice. No, sorry, not their Trick Room, their Reflect. They're still taunted on Grim. Next turn, it's pretty easy to go Rockfall and Bulldoze. Man, I don't know if that KOs Marowak with Reflect being up. I don't think it does, to be honest. But I think I still have to go for this. We've seen 3 of their 4 Pokemon, P2, Grimmsnarl, Marowak. So what do I think the last one is going to be? Kartana? No, that feels pretty weak into our team comp. Feeny would make a lot of sense in my opinion, because it does really well into the Mamoswine and the Regirock, right? Unfortunately though, with no like fake out, I have no way to deny Grimmsnarl getting Reflect Up in this game. My special attacker is Goodra, so could I have utilized Goodra somehow? Maybe Goodra over Hawlucha? But Hawlucha was valuable for Taunt. So I don't really regret bringing it, and that body press into Porygon, honestly. Yeah. Okay, let's see. Oh, they don't max Marowak. Huh. Which implies to me they're going to want to max like Tapu Fini, right? That makes the most sense. But that's okay with me. We'll KO Marowak. I mean, Marowak's a pretty big threat offensively, so I'm happy to get that out of the way. Oh, but they're faster than Regirock, right? Under Trick Room. Maybe I should have switched out then. Because I think I might be too far behind to win right now. Because they still have their Dynamax, whereas I don't. Like, I would have been better off just clicking Rock Slide this turn. Shoot. Rock Slide would have actually picked up a double KO. That would have been really good for us. Really nice play by my opponent, yeah. I forgot that the Marowak would go before the Bronzong. But it's not like, I don't know, like, then the alternative is, if I'm expecting that play, is to switch out into, it doesn't even really work. Oh, it's because I dropped their speed. I think was the Marowak min speed? No, it had some speed investment. The right play here was actually to go self-body press to activate Policy rather than Bulldoze. Yeah. That mistake may have cost me, actually. Because you have to remember that Regirock is clear body, so its speed doesn't get dropped. And I forgot that the Marowak on the opposing side is just not exact. I mean, the Marowak's a pretty slow Pokemon, right? So, great decision by Darren not to max, because this conserves their max, and now it should be Feeny. Yep, there it is. Don't think I can beat this. If I had, like, if I did max last turn, maybe we had a shot. But I don't do enough damage into Feeny, and my Trick Room turns are also slowly expiring. So, nicely done. Very nicely done by my opponent. How many turns of Trick Room are left? There's still 3, I guess, so, like, we have some room to work with. I just don't think we can beat Feeny right now. I would need them to protect Feeny this turn. No, I think it's just too easy for them to stall out my Dynamax, though, because I just can't knock out Feeny. So, I'm down to Rockfall, Grimmsnarl, and Coaching here. Hoping they, I don't know, like, max protect Feeny or max guard it. But I think they're just going to max and maybe Geyser this turn, and then max guard the next turn. Yeah. I, like, hope, ideally, best case right now, they max guard, but I think the Regirock would have outsped Marowak if I just went for Body Press rather than Bulldoze, so that was a pretty clear mistake. Really smart of them not to max the whack. And, like, unfortunately, my best answer against Feeny is the Tapu Koko, but can't really feel good about bringing that out when there's a Marowak on my opponent's team. But they do max guard. Okay, this gives us a shot. Wait, that's exactly what I needed them to do. I still don't think we can win, to be honest, but I mean, now I get Regirock to +3 at least. I don't know, is my win con to just go for a crit onto the Tapu Fini? It might be. It was, yeah, it was really bad of me to just give up Bronzong. Not that Bronzong would have done anything into Feeny, though. So, the problem is that, like, out of everything I brought this game, I actually just had no good damage into Feeny, did I? Yeah, this team is a little Feeny weak, that's for sure. Honestly, I think the play is to try to crit a Rockfall into Feeny right now. What's the alternative? Like, yeah, I can Knuckle Porygon. But then they just protect. And then Muddy Water, double KO. Boom. So, yep, I think we just go for the Rockfall, hope for a crit onto Feeny. Like, my opponent should win this game. Ooh. Does this get us anywhere? He bypasses a Geyser. But then Hawlucha just faints. I don't see what else to go for, though, so might as well. This should be my opponent's game, though. Feeny is just too strong into us, and they played their win con perfectly, but Regirock needs a crit here, I think. I don't think we even do 50%, actually. Yeah, right. Is it even with the crit? Nah, I don't think it would have been enough. And I think the... yeah, we have one out. We have one out. Our one out is I max guard. Sorry, I protect, and then they miss Muddy Water. That's it. This is just a great example of my opponent playing towards like a very stable win condition, right? Like Tapu Fini is just super good into us, especially because they have both Landorus and Marowak support, so I really can't feel comfortable going with Coco. So I don't feel too bad about this game because I don't feel like there's really too much we can do if our opponent plays perfectly. Goodra, I guess, is a potential solution, but it doesn't even do that much damage. Actually, I really don't have an out, because Geyser in range just does too much, and then you can just Moonblast me. But I guess I can hope. Yeah, I wasted a turn of my Regirock's max. It was the critical turn in this game was Marowak just Flare Blitzing to KO Bronzong. Like, what I could have done there was switch out Bronzong, sacrifice the... I also think we would have just outsped if I went self-body press instead, so 2 mistakes there. I either could have switched... Like, the play I made ended up being the worst, basically. Yeah, now you can just Moonblast Tri Attack, I'm pretty sure, so I don't really think we have an out. But if I had an extra max turn, this actually was winnable. How else can I really be? Yeah, now you just Moonblast, so we had no... I guess our best play there was to just crit Rock Slide onto Feeny. Yeah, that was probably it. I don't even think that would KO, though. Feeny just is so bulky. And they played their Dynamax here really, really nicely. Yeah, I think Feeny is just so good in this matchup. I can't deny Reflect either. But this was like really well done by my opponent, right? Because they positioned their Feeny so well. Like they recognize that, hey, all I need to do is get Feeny out in the right position, and it should just be able to do a lot of damage. Especially with Reflect Up, like that a +3 Rockfall into Feeny wasn't even over 50%, right? And everything else I brought into this game, Mamoswine, Hawlucha, Bronzong, none of those do damage into Feeny. So the 2 Pokemon I dropped maybe could have given us an edge, but I don't know. If I go Hawlucha plus Coco, I guess there's like something interesting there where like maybe we don't max Coco, we can taunt Porygon turn 1, Iron Head into Grimmsnarl, and then go from there. But even then, it's pretty tricky because the reality is that Reflect will be up for them unless yeah, I think maybe we should have just gone Coco Hawlucha because like I went with what I thought was like the most consistent option, and like it just got kind of wrecked, right? It just like even with me feeling like I made okay plays, I was just always kind of playing from behind. So yeah. But like once again, no matter how good of a matchup you have, you need to execute properly, and I thought that was like perfect execution by my opponent basically. Really good awareness to like not max Marowak, to max the Tapu Fini instead, get Reflect up, and then be like stall out their Dynamax relative to mine as well. So like really good play. This is not a great day for Coco, honestly, because like now my opponent's Raichu and Mamoswine. Like we've run into 2 Lightning Rod users in a row, unfortunately. So like it's tough. Moltres. Man, Metagross, and they also have a Feeny as well. So a lot of tough things here. It's probably Raichu's self-volt switch policy, right? Man, I honestly am still thinking Hawlucha Coco here. I mean, Regirock under Trick Room would be ideal. Goodra's good against Moltres, but that's it. I know Hawlucha Coco seems really weird here, but it can actually put in a lot of work. Definitely want Bronzong. I mean, do I just go Regirock? I guess. Like, yeah, I think what's particularly tough in the last 2 games is that the Lightning Rod user has made it a lot, like, from my perspective, it's a lot harder to actually bring in Tapu Koko immediately, but that's okay. Yeah, let's go for it. Raichu Mammo. Oh boy, that's not good. If you're my opponent, I mean, it's pretty free to fake out and just go for an attack onto Hawlucha. I think what I'll do turn 1 with Koko at least is max and Steel Spike into Mammo Spine. Like, that's a pretty safe play. I'm curious if they end up maxing the Mammo. That'd be pretty interesting. But with the defense boost, yeah, that's actually not too bad for us. And did they have us switch it into Steel Spike? The only one is Metagross, but would be okay with them. So I'm down to just go coaching Max and Steel Spike into Mammo here, because there's no way they're going to see the Steel Spike coming. Unless they've seen this team. Otherwise, normally you would think Mamoswine's in like a phenomenal position. Maybe even to the point where you get baited into maxing it. But yeah. Best case would be no Sash Mamoswine. We just one-shot it with Steel Spike if it doesn't max. That would actually be amazing for us. Because then I could just double up onto Raichu the next turn with like Body Press Airstream. Pick up 2 KOs and then we were really moving. But, hey, Koko was actually okay here. Like, yeah, they have Raichu, but Koko still puts in work against everything else. Okay, so they're not... Oh, interesting. That is a good play. I wonder if they're going to go Electro Web with Raichu. I guess one thing that my opponent actually probably... Like, the reason they made this play is because they probably respected the Hawlucha max turn 1, which is really, really good on smart on their end. The thing is, Body Press is still... Like, we'll still go first before Raichu next turn. We can Body Press to KO Mammo. And then I can Airstream to recover the speed drop if they're Electro Webbing. Oh! Oh, this is perfect. Okay. That's fantastic for us. Now you would think Mammo's going to switch out. I just revealed Steel Spike. So I kind of want to just go Body Press into Raichu. I guess the question is whether or not like +2 Body Press and then a max move from Koko knocks out Raichu. But like the play I'm leaning towards here is Body Press into the Raichu and go for a max. Yeah, Airstream's stronger, so let's just go for that. Okay, Mammo doesn't switch out, so I could have just... like, I don't mind knocking out Raichu, though, right? This thing is such a nuisance. Unfortunately, it's not AV. Oh, so is it Life Orb Mammo? It's gotta be, right? It's not AV Mammo. It just protected. It's not choiced. AV is... Oh, sorry, a Life Orb's like the only item I can really think of that makes sense here. Okay, well, I was never going to pick up a double knockout here because Raichu had Sash, and I don't mind getting rid of Raichu because that's the Lightning Rod user out of the way now. And we have defense boosts on these. Yeah, they just go for Earthquake. Okay, I think this is going to be Life Orb. Yeah, that doesn't do very much at all. Nice. Yep. Okay. Mamoswine is like... I mean, we're using a Mamoswine on this team too. It is pretty limited in its move pool and item choices. Like, when you see Mamoswine, you know exactly what's coming your way. Doesn't make it any easier. And they bring out Metagross. So this is great, right? Because, like, we have all these defense boosts. Bronzong is also great against Metagross. I mean, here it feels really safe to just go, like, Body Press Mammo, Max Lightning Metagross. Alternatively, Steel Spike's a KO through Mamoswine, even through Protect. So you know what I kind of like? Because we have these defense boosts. So I can get to +3. Like, I think I'm gonna Steel Spike Mammo here. I'm down to coaching. Oh, let's Steel Spike. Yeah. Like, it's tempting to max Lightning Metagross here. Okay, they switch out. That's a good switch. But it's into Moltres. I mean, Moltres isn't gonna take this well, right? Like, it's still... They're gonna max Metagross. Like, I don't mind this because I have so many defense boosts right now. I don't think you're gonna KO me with a Max Quake. Right? I'm going to get to +3 defense. If they max guard Metagross here, this should be game over for us. Like, we should just win because Body Press alone just does so much damage across the board. The main thing that I was worried about was, like, Moltres setting up on us. Unfortunately, they don't protect Metagross, so if I just went, like, Max Lightning there, that might have been enough to KO Metagross, but actually, that's a pretty good option. Maybe I should have gone for that. Alright, +2 Steel Spike, and that one-shots Moltres. Oh my gosh. Wow. Yeah, Hawlucha and Koko are just going off right now. Okay. We should survive Max Quake, right? Yeah, we're at +3 defense. There's no way this KOs, right? Oh my gosh, that did nothing. Okay, sick. Now we've got Hawlucha. Hawlucha's all defensed up as well. Yeah, that was a pretty good turn. Like, actually, that wins us the game, I think, because we have Bronzong in the back. Like, these two Pokemon can't beat Bronzong right now. The main threat to Bronzong in this matchup was going to be the Galarian Moltres. Okay. +3 defense, +4 defense. I don't think Ice Shard's KOing this thing. Body Press will KO Mammal. I mean, I think Mamoswine's obviously going to protect here, right? But I don't mind just going for Body Press and Thunder Punch, because at this point I really think Bronzong just wins the game. And they actually go for Ice Shard, okay, even better. I mean, that just ensures us the win. I'm going for a crit, but I don't even think a crit Ice Shard would KO there. So, yeah, I mean, this was kind of my, like, takeaway from that last game where, like, I was scared of Raichu Koko. And granted, in the last game, it was tougher for Raichu Koko to actually execute, right? Because they had Grimmsnarl with Reflect. I can't really break through that very easily. But this was just, oh my gosh. That was a crit, too. Yeah. Certainly have had some good fortune throughout today. So, I feel like game one, like, it was really just the ally switch that gave us the competitive edge. And, yeah, I mean, like, it's so hard to predict that, right? It's not like my opponent could have really done too much against them. They played really well in that end game, and we were lucky to dodge that rock slide. Like, the game was in our favor to win, but I think they made some really, really good plays. Game two, it just felt like I couldn't do anything with the Pokemon that I brought, so, like, I would have to just adjust my game plan completely. But yeah, this game was just kind of Hawlucha plus Koko dominance. The main thing we had to deny, I think, well, one, it was good they didn't bring Tailwind, but perhaps like they didn't want to because we have Hawlucha, and Hawlucha's still pretty fast anyway, right? So we can just Body Press now, double Body Press. Another thing you should consider when you're using this team or using Bronzong in general is thinking about Bronzong as the late game win condition, right? Because often what Bronzong can do is just go for Iron Defense, especially into Steel types, right? Like, what is Metagross ever going to do into Bronzong? Not very much at all. So as soon as the Moltres went down, yes, while it was tempting to maybe go coaching Max Lightning into Metagross that turn, it probably wouldn't have picked up the KO, and it's better, not always, but like ideally, you know, to pick up a knockout onto something, and then force the end game, right? Because as soon as Galarian Moltres goes down, Bronzong actually should just win the game by itself at that point, barring any really crazy moves or freezes from like the, I don't know, Ice Punch from like Metagross, right? Because at that point, like neither Mamoswine or Metagross can actually touch the Bronzong. So we didn't really need Regirock, but the main thing was like conserving Bronzong as an actual win condition in the late game here. But yeah, I mean, I think the lead matchup actually worked out really, really well for us. You saw that the Raichu went for Charm. My opponent was likely expecting, you know, like Tapu Koko typically isn't going to do anything into Mamoswine, so this is where the element of surprise really came in huge, right? We had a super effective Max Steel Spike into Mamoswine. We had Hawlucha, which of course has the you know, full supportive set that it had. Body Press was able to do a lot of damage as well, and the reality is that like we started off the game so well because we did over 50% to load Mamoswine, right? So this is once again the element of surprise, having moves that your opponent doesn't expect. Us being Physical Koko with this, like, I think a lot of people will typically expect Special Koko, and, like, if you're Special Koko, the only thing you can do into Mamoswine is, like, Dazzle and Gleam, right? And so not only were we able to get a free defense boost, but we also did over 50% to the Mamoswine. And that put my opponent in a really awkward spot because on turn 2, neither of their Pokemon really could have done very much. So, could have been scary. Like, if Raichu went for, say, just a Thunderbolt onto Hawlucha to start off the game, it would make a lot of sense. But, you know, it makes a lot of sense that my opponent didn't go, like, fake out onto Hawlucha because I think often players actually expect Hawlucha to Dynamax in that position. So that's one of the other fun things about this team. Hawlucha is not going to really be your max option. It is instead going to be Koko or the Regirock or sometimes, you know, some of the other Pokemon on the team. So, that's going to be it for this one. Thank you so much, as always, for watching. Thank you to Ryota once again for the team. Check them out, linked in the description below. Don't forget to answer the question of the day. Leave a like if you enjoyed, and I'll see you all next time. All right, peace.